The concept of love is often discussed in the context of grand gestures and spoken vows, yet the most profound truths of the heart frequently reside in the quiet, involuntary movements of the body. When a man falls deeply in love, his brain undergoes a radical chemical transformation, flooding his system with dopamine, oxytocin, and vasopressin. These love chemicals do more than just create a feeling of euphoria. They actually hijack the autonomic nervous system, leading to a series of subconscious behaviors that are nearly impossible to fake. Because these actions are governed by the limbic system, the brain's emotional center, they bypass the conscious mind entirely. This means that while a person can choose their words carefully, they have very little control over the subtle dilation of their pupils, the way their feet point toward their partner, or the rhythmic mirroring of their movements. Understanding these subconscious markers is essential because they provide a raw, unfiltered look into a person's true emotional state. In the early stages of attraction, the mind is often preoccupied with impression management, where an individual consciously tries to act cool, confident, or disinterested to protect their ego. However, deep love is characterized by a loss of this defensive posture. The weird things men do, ranging from vocal pitch shifting to the unintentional removal of physical barriers, are actually evolutionary, signals of trust and bonding. They represent a shift from the individual mindset to a partnership mindset. These behaviors are the body's way of saying what the mouth might not yet be ready to admit, that a specific person has become the gravitational center of their world. Furthermore, these 15 behaviors highlight the fascinating intersection between biology and romance. Many of these traits, such as the protective stance or the preening instinct, are remnants of ancient survival mechanisms designed to ensure the safety and continuity of a pair bond. In a modern context, these manifest as small, seemingly quirky habits that can easily be overlooked if one isn't paying attention. By identifying these signs, we gain a deeper appreciation for the complexity of human connection. It reveals that love is not just a fleeting emotion, but a total physiological experience that influences how a man stands, speaks, and even blinks. When these subconscious signals align, they create a powerful language of intimacy that speaks louder than any prepared speech, offering a definitive map of a man's deepest romantic commitments. The mirroring reflex. Mirroring is a powerful biological phenomenon driven by mirror neurons in the brain, which fire when we observe an action performed by someone we care about. When a man is deeply in love, he will subconsciously adopt your body language, speech patterns, and even your physical energy levels. If you cross your legs, he might do the same moments later. If you lean back and sigh, he instinctively follows suit. This isn't a conscious effort to mimic you, but rather a profound sign of empathy and rapport. It indicates that he is so in sync with your presence that his nervous system is essentially trying to match yours. This rhythmic alignment creates a sense of safety and mutual understanding, signaling that he is fully present and emotionally invested in the connection. It is one of the most reliable indicators that he views you as a primary partner. Pupillary dilation during eye contact. The eyes are often called the windows to the soul, but physiologically, they are windows to the autonomic nervous system. When a man looks at someone he is deeply attracted to or in love with, his brain releases a surge of oxytocin and dopamine. This chemical reaction causes the pupils to dilate significantly, regardless of the lighting conditions in the room. This mydriasis occurs because the body is in a state of heightened arousal and intense focus. Subconsciously, his eyes are trying to take in as much of your visual information as possible, because this is an involuntary, physical response controlled by the sympathetic nervous system. It cannot be faked or forced. Seeing his pupils widen while he speaks to you is a silent, biological confession that his feelings for you are intense, sincere, and rooted deep within his primal chemistry. Protective physical positioning. Even in the modern world, the ancient instinct to protect a mate remains deeply embedded in a man's subconscious behavior. When a man is in love, he will often position his body as a shield between you and potential stressors or crowds. You might notice him walking on the street side of the sidewalk, placing a hand on the small of your back in a busy room, or subtly angling his shoulders to frame you in a private space. This behavior isn't about being overbearing. It is a subconscious manifestation of the provider and protector drive. He is creating a safe zone where you can feel secure. This spatial awareness shows that his brain is constantly monitoring the environment for your well-being, prioritizing your comfort and safety above his own. often without him even realizing that he is adjusting his stance to do so. Subconscious lean-in. The ventral frontal rule of body language suggests that we turn our most vulnerable parts, our chest, torso, and face, toward the things we love most. When a man is deeply in love, he will naturally gravitate toward you, narrowing the physical gap between you during conversations. This lean-in happens even in noisy or crowded environments where he could easily sit back. It signifies an intense desire for intimacy and a subconscious effort to exclude the rest of the world. By tilting his head and leaning his upper body toward you, he is signaling that you are the most important focal point in his environment. This posture lowers his defenses and invites you into his personal bubble, demonstrating a level of comfort and emotional proximity that is reserved only for a person who holds a significant and permanent place in his heart. The preening instinct. Much like birds in the wild, human men engage in subconscious preening when they are around someone they adore. This might involve smoothing down his hair, straightening his shirt, or checking his watch repeatedly. These grooming behaviors are triggered by an underlying desire to appear at his best in your presence. When he is in love, his brain becomes hyper-aware of his own physical presentation because he wants to remain attractive and impressive to you. You might see him fixing his collar or dusting a stray lint speck off his sleeve while you are talking. Because these actions are usually performed rapidly and without much thought, they serve as a clear indicator of his underlying nervousness and excitement. It shows that he values your opinion of him immensely and is subconsciously working to maintain your interest and admiration. Vocal pitch shifting. When a man is deeply in love, his voice often undergoes a subtle, subconscious transformation during one-on-one conversations. Research suggests that men tend to soften their tone and slightly alter their pitch when speaking to a romantic partner compared to how they speak to friends or colleagues. This vocal modulation is an unconscious effort to sound more nurturing and less threatening, signaling a desire for emotional closeness. Sometimes the pitch may even drop to a lower, more resonant frequency, which is biologically linked to projecting masculinity and strength. Alternatively, it can become warmer and more melodic, reflecting a state of relaxation and affection. This voice of love is a distinct acoustic fingerprint. It shows that his brain has categorized you as a special person who requires a different level of intimacy and tenderness, making his communication with you uniquely different from his interactions with the rest of the world. Unconscious synchronization of walking pace. The way a man walks beside you can be a profound indicator of his emotional investment. In casual settings, people tend to walk at their own natural speed. But when a man is in love, he will subconsciously adjust his stride to perfectly match yours. This synchronization is a physical manifestation of empathy and partnership. If you slow down to look at a shop window, he slows down instantly. If you quicken your pace, he stays right by your side. This behavior is his body's way of saying, "I am with you, and we are moving through life together." It demonstrates that he is prioritizing the shared rhythm of the walk over his own physical convenience. This silent alignment of movement fosters a sense of togetherness and harmony, proving that his focus is entirely on maintaining a connection with you, even during the simplest of daily activities. The directional foot point. Body language experts often look at the feet because they are the most honest part of the body. While we can easily fake a smile, we rarely think about where our feet are pointing. When a man is subconsciously in love, his feet will almost always point directly toward you, even if his torso is turned elsewhere, or he is engaged in a conversation with someone else. This is known as the directional point, and it indicates where his true interest lies. It shows that his internal compass is locked onto you as his primary target of attention. If he is in a group setting and his feet are angled toward you, it is a clear sign that you are his anchor in the room. This involuntary physical orientation reveals that he is emotionally drawn to you, indicating a deep-seated attraction and a mental preoccupation that persists even in social distractions. Increased blink rate. While eye contact is a well-known sign of attraction, the frequency of blinking can reveal even deeper subconscious emotions. When a man is looking at someone he loves, his blink rate often increases significantly. This happens because the intense emotional arousal and the rush of neurochemicals like dopamine cause a form of physiological excitement that affects the eyes. Additionally, being in the presence of someone who matters deeply can create a slight, subconscious performance anxiety, which naturally speeds up the blinking reflex. It is a sign that his brain is working overtime to process the visual and emotional information of being near you. This rapid blinking, often paired with a soft gaze, shows that he is not just looking at you, he is experiencing a heightened state of awareness and emotional stimulation that his body simply cannot hide, making it a very raw and honest signal of his feelings. Micro-expressions of anxiety. Deep love often carries the weight of vulnerability, and this often manifests as subconscious micro-expressions of anxiety or fidgety behavior. A man who is deeply in love may subconsciously play with his keys, adjust his phone, or tap his fingers when he is around you. These are self-soothing behaviors that the body uses to manage the nervous energy generated by intense romantic feelings. Because he cares so much about the connection, there is an underlying fear of making a mistake or losing your favor. You might catch a fleeting look of concern or a quick, tight-lipped smile that disappears in a fraction of a second. These micro-expressions are honest glimpses into his internal state. They prove that you have a significant impact on his emotional equilibrium. His lack of total coolness is actually a compliment, as it shows he is far too invested to be indifferent or completely relaxed. The gentle, possessive touch. This subconscious behavior is not about control, but rather about establishing a physical connection and signaling a protective bond. When a man is deeply in love, he will often place a light hand on your shoulder, the small of your back, or your arm while navigating a crowded space. These touches are usually brief and almost entirely instinctive. They serve as a sensory way for his brain to confirm your presence and ensure you are close by. This anchoring touch is his body's way of claiming a shared space and providing a sense of security. It indicates a high level of comfort and a desire for constant physical proximity. Because these gestures are often performed without him even thinking, they reveal a deep-seated need to remain physically linked to you, acting as a silent reassurance of his commitment and his role as your supportive partner in any environment. The eyebrow flash. The eyebrow flash is a universal, lightning-fast subconscious gesture where the eyebrows raise and lower in a fraction of a second. When a man sees the person he loves, his face will often perform this reflex automatically. It is an ancient biological signal that indicates recognition, friendliness, and an opening of the senses. By raising his brows, he is subconsciously widening his eyes to take in more of your image, signaling that he finds you pleasant and inviting. This micro-expression is almost impossible to fake or suppress because it happens the moment he makes eye contact. It acts as a visual hello from his subconscious, proving that his brain experiences a genuine spark of joy and interest every time you enter his field of vision. It is a subtle but profound indicator that your presence consistently triggers a positive emotional response within his nervous system. Unintentional removal of physical barriers. When a man is emotionally distant, he may subconsciously place objects, like a coffee mug, a bag, or a laptop, between himself and the other person to create a shield. However, when he is deeply in love, he will instinctively move these barriers out of the way to create an open path between your body and his. This behavior is an unconscious sign of vulnerability and a desire for total transparency. He might slide a drink to the side, or move a pillow that is sitting between you on the couch. By clearing the physical space, he is signaling that he is open to you and wants no obstacles to your connection. This removal of barriers shows that he feels safe in your presence and is subconsciously inviting more intimacy, both physical and emotional, by ensuring there is nothing standing in the way of your interaction. Hyper-focus on shared laughter. A man in love is subconsciously tuned to your sense of humor. When a group of people laughs at a joke, his first instinct will be to look directly at you to see if you are laughing too. This hyperfocus is a way of seeking emotional validation and checking for shared alignment. He isn't just enjoying the joke, he is monitoring your reaction because your happiness and your perspective have become his primary focus. If you find something funny, he feels a subconscious sense of achievement and connection. This behavior proves that he prioritizes your experience of joy above the collective group dynamic. By constantly checking in with his eyes during moments of humor, he is silently confirming that you are the person he wants to share his life's highlights with, showing that your emotional state is the most important one in the room. The open palm gesture. The way a man uses his hands during a conversation can reveal a great deal about his level of trust and affection. When a man is deeply in love, he will often speak with his palms turned upward or resting openly on a table. In the world of body language, open palms are a subconscious sign of honesty, submission, and lack of threat. It shows that he has nothing to hide and is completely comfortable being vulnerable around you. Conversely, hidden hands or clenched fists can signal defensiveness. By keeping his hands open and visible, his subconscious is communicating that he trusts you implicitly and is fully unarmed in your presence. This gesture reflects a deep emotional transparency, indicating that he feels a profound sense of peace and safety when he is with you, allowing him to be his most authentic and open self.